to another edition of Coach's Corner brought to you by Fats Cafe. I'm your host, Katelyn Grisillo, and joining me today from the women's softball team is Coach Snyder. Thank you, Coach, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, congratulations on your team's big wins at Erskine yesterday.
Thank you very much.
What are your thoughts on your team's performance and specifically the solid play from your upperclassmen?
Well, yesterday we really couldn't have played any better. Everything. If we play that way every game out, we never lose. We got great pitching, good defense behind that, and I think we had a total of like 25 hits, scored 18 runs. It doesn't get better than that. It makes it real easy on a coach when your team is pushing that many runs across. So.
Right. So now your pitchers are not only doing well from the mound, but also at the plate. What went behind your decision to add the pitchers into the batting order?
Well, I've always, tried to put the strongest batting order out there that I can. And, we were DPing for them, and we had weaker hitters in the lineup besides what our pitchers were doing. So, you're not doing yourself a justice if you're not allowing your best hitters to hit. And pitchers are, just how it so happens that our four pitchers are all good hitters too. And so we, insert them in the lineup, and that way we can DP for somebody that's in a slump or not hitting well. So.
Okay. Now you have 4 straight away trips coming up.
Right.
Armstrong, Augusta, Columbus State, and Georgia Southwestern. How do you prepare for that, or is it not any different than you would for a home stretch?
It's not really preparing to travel. You just prepare for the team you're going to play.
Right.
And so, next up is Armstrong. So, we'll, at practice, we'll work on what we need to work on in order to play Armstrong. And then after that, we'll work on what we need to play Augusta. And after that, what we need to play Columbus and Georgia Southwestern. And, the trip to me away or home, of course you want to play at home. Everybody sleeps in their own bed. Mm-hmm. Everybody's eating their normal meals. That's a normal routine. But 2 of those trips are one-day trips. Go play and come back home. Mm-hmm. The Columbus, Georgia Southwestern, it's a 3-day trip. So there's not really any prep for it. You just got to make sure you try to keep your team on some form of a routine that's close to them being at home.
Right.
So.
Okay. Now, what do you think, looking even further ahead, it's going to take to make it to the conference tournament and regional play for your team?
Well, of course, wins. I think we're set up to make a good run. For the conference tournament and also for regionals. Sitting right now with 20 wins on the season and some very good wins. We've had some bad beats, but right now I think our wins are going to overshadow those beats. And, you knock off a Lenore Ryan, get a sweep there, and a Flagler and Francis Marion. You get those sweeps, and they stand out big when it comes time to to select who's going to go to regionals. The wins yesterday were really big. It's a lot of people forget about some of the smaller schools like Erskine and those, but Erskine had the same 18-8 record as we did when we went into it, and they're leading their conference. Mm-hmm. So, those were really big wins. It was a big sweep for us, and that'll look good with the committee too. But for the tournament, we have to win conference games. We're setting a 4-2. It's not too bad, and it really should have been 6-0, but
it's okay.
That's how it works sometimes. But I think that probably 8 wins in the conference will get you in the tournament. Of course, you only take the top 8.
Right.
But I think 8 wins would get you in the conference tournament, and anything above that, would be for seeding purposes, so that you can get seeded a little higher. So, but we're looking. Our goal was to win the conference season and win the conference tournament and go through the regionals, super regionals, and win the national championship.
Win it all.
So
Why not?
Yeah. But one game at a time.
Right.
Right now we're focused on Armstrong on Friday. So.
Yes, sir. Well, we look forward to seeing those wins and wish all the best of luck coming up.
Well, thank you very much.
No problem. That wraps up another edition of Coach's Corner, brought to you by Fats Cafe with Coach Snyder. I'm your host, Katelyn Grisillo. Thank you for watching.